If you live in a big city, I think you can relate to the following feeling. The stress of a fast-paced life, the overwhelming noise of cars, construction sites, or music from parties, the toxic polluted air permeating everywhere at all times. Perhaps you've thought a few times that retiring to the countryside might be the correct choice for you, disconnecting from modernity and living a life among nature, good neighbors, and a nice town where a tight sense of community is fostered on a daily basis. If so, have you considered Gloaming County? Watchful eyes, helping hands. Gloaming is a town with a rich and varied history of industry, agriculture, and connection to the beautiful natural resources surrounding its developments. This will be perfect, excepting for one single detail. Gloaming County and the Gloaming Town does not exist. Gloamingcounty.com is a site made with the apparent reason of promoting Gloaming, a supposedly American town found in the middle of the woods. The homepage reads, "Welcome to Gloaming County, watchful eyes, helping hands," and features an embedded YouTube video by the channel Gloaming County. Before we dive into the video, I will recommend for you as always to check the original source material first. Go take a look at the Gloaming County YouTube channel and the Gloaming County website first, and we'll discuss it once you're back. We are going to check out the channel now and return to the website afterwards, which, despite its seemingly innocent looks, holds a few hidden secrets. Tape 1, Welcome to Gloaming County, is the title of the first video uploaded on the Gloaming County channel. The video follows a promotional video style, compiling together a variety of videos and images from what we can assume to be the town of Gloaming and its surroundings. The video seems rather tame at first, excepting two parts which raised a few questions. 47 seconds in the video, and we can observe a short snippet of what looks like a bunch of logs or wooden pallets bundled together. Burning. I think the correct term for this will be a pyre. While this of course could be just a regular campfire or a way to dispose of excess wood, I'm more inclined to believe, due to the way it's structured, for this to be a pyre. Pyres usually have religious purposes, either used during funerals to burn the body of the deceased or to provide a sort of religious offering. Judging by the looks, this seems a very large pyre, an uncommon sight, even in rural places. What is the purpose of it? I doubt it was made just as a form of social gathering to warm up around it while recounting old stories. The second unusual part of the video was at 59 seconds in, where we see what, honestly, to me, looks like a lot of people standing behind a police cordon, with some people running in the background. Those could also very well be firefighters. Is this perhaps related to the burning pyre we saw before? I know this isn't necessarily too unusual of a sight in general, but it just seems odd to have it included in a county's promotional video. The following video is Tape 2, Deer Safety. Once again, nothing too unusual at first. The video provides different imageries of nature and the glowing town, as a PSA is heard in the background, of a distinctly female voice cautioning drivers on how to avoid accidentally hitting deers with their cars. It is around 30 seconds in that we hear the noise of a car's brakes, before crashing into something.
At dusk through the early evening hours and in the hours just before sunrise.
As the PSA continues, with the video's imagery changing to something a little darker, displaying a deer's corpse being dragged away. We hear someone reporting that they've hit a deer, and the video ends.
Yes, hello? Yeah, I'd like to report that I hit a deer.
Tape 3, Heart Day, is the video that raises the most questions of all. It begins with a disclaimer, a note from the supposed archivist of these tapes, reading, "The Historic Preservation Society was instructed by Gloaming County officials to take this video down. We could not do so in good faith. It is our job to document every part of the past, not just what is pleasant. Something is deeply wrong with these tapes we've uncovered. We need to find out what it is. I hope you all understand." As the video continues, we receive another disclaimer before being shown a short
Side
tutorial
left,
on a type of a
together
dance
right,
move.
side left, goes to the right, side right, together left, side right, takes the left foot behind the right foot in the L position, rocks to the left and rocks on the right.
Now, I'm sure you've noticed that a variety of letters are shown across this. I have tried following them in order, obtaining the result Figaro. Afterwards, I've tried rearranging the letters in the order they're shown based on their positioning, resulting in Fair Go. Honestly, I can't make out too much of this. It is obviously a sort of code, but it doesn't appear to be a scrambled word or a sentence. We could rearrange the letters to form the words fear, fire, and go, but we'd remain with extra letters. But there is still a way to make use of this word, Figaro. For now, keep it in mind, we'll talk more about it later on. Following next, we see a poster for what appears to be an event at Gloaming for St. Valentine's. The Valentine's Day Bash at the Community Center on February 14th from 4 to 7 p.m. for all ages. Bring your dancing shoes and a sweet treat to share. Get to know our brave local police and firemen, and also a meet and greet with Mayor Mellowwater. This event appears to be hosted by the Gloaming Swing Society and Events Board. The next part of the video is perhaps the most cryptic one. Take into account the date 2/14/1999 on St. Valentine's, just 1 minute either before midnight or before noon. It appears to be someone attempting to record someone or something who, and I quote, doesn't like to be filmed. This snippet ends just as we see a dark figure emerging from behind a wall. The next snippet appears to be another tape, delivered to the archives, unmarked and labeled as Heart Day. The tape is an edited version of Design for Dreaming, a film commercial from 1956. The original commercial showcases a woman sleeping, receiving an invitation to the General Motors Motorama, a film presenting futuristic dream cars and a futuristic type of kitchen. This edited version seems to be far lower in quality than the original, cutting out parts of the original video as it showcases the same woman receiving a different type of invitation. This one appears to be censored at first, but as the shot closes in, we can read the text, "You're invited," as something is seen moving beneath the text on the invitation card. The tape cuts back to the Valentine's Day Bash poster, and the video ends. Something worthy of note in this video is that in the comment section we can see a comment left by someone named Randy Nelson reading, "This better be someone's poor idea of a joke, Graves. You were asked to omit this footage for a good reason." While this could potentially be a random YouTube user creating another account, I'm going to assume for it to be officially part of the Gloaming County universe. Judging by the profile picture, Randy Nelson appears to be a deputy in the Gloaming County, and we can assume for Graves to be the name of the archivist managing the Gloaming County's YouTube channel. While the channel contains only 3 videos, there are also 4 shorts uploaded, which we are going to check out now. The first short is a very brief PSA reading, "Gloaming County fun fact, watch out for deer at night, especially ones who don't behave like deer at first." The next short presents a video of 2 deers with a text reading, "2 of them," as a person's face briefly appears in the background. The third short is simply a re-upload, cut version of the 3rd video we've seen on the channel. The 4th short showcases a video of a river, reading, "The natural beauty of the heritage preserve at dusk," with what appears to be a Morse code playing in the background. Translated, the Morse code appears to say, "Winona." I'm not sure what to make out of this other than Winona being a name. Well, perhaps it'll be relevant later. The next short, which was uploaded while I was writing the script for this video, talks about various tips and instructions on how to deal with rot infestations inside one's home. We don't find out much from this one, except the fact that this rot spreading through gloaming seems to be paranormal in nature, even affecting people's dreams, causing them nightmares. Now, as we've exhausted all of the content on the Gloaming County's YouTube channel as of this video's upload date, the only place remaining for us to check out is the Gloaming County's website, which we're going to look at right now. As I've said before, the website's homepage looks innocent at first. The layout isn't anything to go crazy over either, as it seems to be made in a rather amateurish way, but by scrolling down, we'll notice a small icon at the bottom left of the site. By clicking on it, we are redirected towards a sub-page called Down Down. The page has no text, but presents us with 3 different images, one with a group of goats in the background and 2 black and white drawings overlaid on top. The first drawing presents a woman descending a hole, which was apparently located beneath a plant that was uprooted. The second image presents 2 men watching a woman sleeping. It is worth to note that both images can be clicked. The first image, the one of the woman descending, redirects us to a Google Drive file, downdown.wav, and we can hear someone whispering the following words.
Down, down, ever downward.
The second image redirects us to another file, wearethere.wav, another audio file from which we can hear the following words.
We are there when you fall asleep.
Going back to the Gloaming County's webpage, we can access the news section. Welcome to the Gloaming County Digital News Bulletin. Curfew advisory still in effect. For your safety, refrain from outdoor activities after dark. So, is this curfew related to the video we saw earlier? The one advising us to be cautious around deer at night? Especially the ones who don't behave like deer at first? It appears that Gloaming County might have a deer problem at night, or better yet, a not deer problem. If you are unaware, the not deer is a type of common folklore cryptid, a creature resembling a deer with a few details amiss. Sometimes too many eyes, sometimes too many legs, or too many joints in their legs, front-facing eyes, or sharp teeth. They bear fair similarities to the skinwalkers, but belong to a different type of concept. Either way, we can assume for not deers to apparently be an issue in the Gloaming County surrounding forest, and that seems to be why a curfew was declared. The rest of the news bulletin board details various activities and events that will take place within Gloaming County. Most of them appear regular activities, such as a town hall public meeting and a St. Patrick's Day parade. But 2 of them caught my attention. March 19th, Storytime with Sheriff Nelson. So it appears that the comment that we read under the 3rd video early on was indeed left by someone from Gloaming County. Randy Nelson, the one who I initially assumed to be a deputy, is in fact the sheriff. The next event, Historic Society meeting at the Graves residence, once again confirms the existence of another character mentioned within that comment, Graves the Archivist. So for now we know of multiple named characters: Mellowwater, the mayor of Gloaming, Randy Nelson, the sheriff, Graves the Archivist, which manages the Gloaming County YouTube channel, and Winona. At the bottom of the news page, we can also find an archive section where we can read the news bulletin from February. Once again, nothing is too unusual from this. Another town hall meeting, a fundraising potluck for the Palmetto Pulse shelter, which we're going to discuss more about later on, the Valentine's Day bash, and another Historic Society meeting at the Graves residence, this time to address the ongoing archival heritage project and preserving the historic homes of the Lone Dove district against wear damage and defacement following recent incidents. The About section of the site follows a similar premise to the homepage, innocent at first, but holding quite a few secrets. A variety of pictures depicting what we can assume to be gloaming are showcased, but we can actually click on 2 of them, each redirecting us to a different page. The first one, the one with the ducks, will redirect us to this page. A low quality picture of an enchanted forest at night is displayed with what appears to be a chat box on top of it. Over there we can see a variety of messages sent by users in the past. Does this thing even work? Hi, hiya, hi. And then the conversation between V and S is suddenly interrupted by someone whose username and messages appear in a Wingdings font. Translated, the user's nickname is Fig, which makes me believe that this might be related to the earlier word we've seen before during the third tape on the channel, Figaro. So for now we know that Figaro isn't a word, and more likely a name. Translated, Fig's messages read the following. Hello. Do you not remember me? I am your best friend. I watched you grow up. I am still in the corner, but now you cannot see me. I am so lonely. Violet Egress, I miss you. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. So now we know of another character, a person, or perhaps better yet, an entity called Fig or Figaro. Returning to the About page, by clicking on the bottom right image, we are once again redirected to the Down page, which we've already seen. There's a third image at the bottom of the About section, depicting a four-eyed lamb, which if we click on, will be redirected to another page. The page in question contains Figaro in its link, and contains the following text. You, dear reader, are cordially invited to a soirée. No rot can stop us from making merry at the witching hour. Neither prayer nor bullet can stop us. Lay down your head, lay down your pain, and join us in the wood. Scrolling below, the image of an apple can be clicked, which will once again redirect us to another page of this labyrinthine website. This page is called Tunnel, and it presents us with a cryptic text. Fortunately, this is a simple Caesar cipher, shifted by 4 letters backwards. By shifting each letter 4 spaces behind in the alphabet, we get the following text. Now it is the time of night, that the graves all gaping wide, every one lets forth his spirit, in the churchway paths to glide. This text specifically is a passage from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, Act 5, Scene 1. As the name of the page suggests, tunnel, we can continue further towards another link, this time embedded within a small yellow dot which redirects us towards a Tumblr blog called An Ear to the Door. The Tumblr blog contains a singular post, an image of 4 rowboats, with the people on the rowboats and their reflections cut out. By mirroring the image and turning it upside down, we can read the text, Where have all the children gone? The next page we are going to check out is the Heritage Project, an archival project sponsored by a local government of the town of Gloaming, headed by Lawrence Graves and the intern V. Agris. This gives us additional clues towards the identity of 2 characters. We now note that the name of Graves, the archivist, is Lawrence, while V. Agris, the intern, is probably the same V we saw sending messages in the earlier chat box, along with S. The rest of the page doesn't contain much of interest, a few more pictures of the town and its locations of interest, but by clicking on the link embedded within V. Agris, we are directed towards another Tumblr blog. This Violet Delights by Violet Egress. Violet Egress is the name of the person Figaro seemed to be referring to earlier on in its messages. It seems that the two, Figaro and Violet, share an old connection. Fig referred to himself as Violet's best friend, the one who watched her grow up, but who she cannot remember anymore. This blog seems to contain a lot more in terms of story and exposition. I'm not going to read over everything, otherwise this video might be a little bit too long. Instead, I'll provide a short resume of each post, starting with the oldest one. The oldest post, The House Was the Same, is about Violet talking about her experience revisiting her childhood house for the first time since her high school graduation, remarking that after all those years, the house still appears to be the same. The following post, Father, is a small snippet of information about Violet's father. According to her post, her father's name is Carwall, the same of the Nature's Preserve which he works at as a park ranger. The next post is called Field Notes, and it depicts a hand-drawn illustration of a couple of deers Violet has managed to spot within the northwestern region of the Carwall Heritage Preserve her father works at. She remarks that the deer looked unusual and fled as soon as they noticed her presence. Another remark from Violet indicates that, after some digging, she managed to find out that Gloaming's white-tailed deer population fell to undocumentable levels in the 1980s, not rising since. Her final question: so what exactly are these? The next entry in the blog, Mr. Graves, provides a short description of Lawrence Graves, a short, balding man with a silvery beard wearing glasses. Violet mentions her odd deer sightings towards Graves, which seem to spark a certain interest, indicating that perhaps Graves seems to be aware of the not deers as well. The next post, Tracks, is a short one. Violet mentions that now that she's home again, she feels like she's missing someone but cannot remember who. I can't picture his form. It's just a fuzzy silhouette, but I think we'll meet again soon. Most likely referring to Figaro. The last post, Shelley, is about Violet's ex-best friend from her junior year of high school. She recalls volunteering at a local animal shelter in Gloaming with her, simply referring to her as S, likely the same S that we saw talking to V in the earlier chat box with Fig. At the end of the post, we find out about a woman called Shelley Fennell, the owner of the animal shelter at Gloaming, which, according to Violet's post, might have met a dark fate. As she mentions, if I had known what will happen to her just this month, I would have told her to leave this town a long time ago. So, we've heard a few mentions of this animal shelter. Let's check out for ourselves the last page in the Gloaming County's website, the Palmetto Paul's Shelter. On this page we can see a couple of pictures of some puppies, while on the right we have a button that we can interact with in order to volunteer at the shelter. Below on the Palmetto Paul's volunteer form responses, we can actually see a list of anyone who opted to volunteer, and there we can notice a few names that have been relevant so far. We have Carl Graves, whom we can assume to be Lawrence's wife. We have Randy Nelson, the sheriff, which apparently has a dog named Rocky, and a few other names of who we can assume to be residents of Gloaming. Or are they? Now, see, the problem with this specific part of the website is that none of these names count as reliable information, because any visitor to the site can just input anything at any time through the button above. Sure, you could argue that Shelley Fennell saying coroner backwards a bunch of times might be related to the story, but what about Gregory Smith saying I will be there for the date 1991? Yeah, I am Gregory Smith. I input that through the form. So for now, I'm not gonna take the form responses into consideration. And with this, we've finished exploring everything Gloaming County currently has to offer. No doubt, this series is probably far from over. In fact, judging by the upload dates and frequency, it is only at the very beginning. In fact, by the time I upload this video, more content might have been released on the site or the YouTube channel. I think this series definitely has great potential. I like what I've seen so far. The website itself was especially interesting. Navigating it felt really interactive, and it worked as a really cool narrative device to tell a story, one that the viewer has to explore and find out by themselves, rather than being exposed to it solely through YouTube videos. No doubt, I have a great deal of interest in Gloaming County, and I can't wait to see how this series will develop further from now. I will probably revisit it in a few months or a year from now to check on the progress and give my opinions with another video. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts about it and this series in the comment section down below, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for similar content in the future. As always, I'd like to thank this channel's members for supporting me. If you'd like to join them, you can do so through the join button down below. And now I wish you all a good night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.